Hello my friends, this is The Order. Welcome back to The Order. I'm Celtic Templar, and we're getting back into another Q&A video. And pretty much what I'm going to do in this is pretty much, answer some of y'all's questions. Now, I have taken from previous type of comments and such, some of that of which were left on the last Q&A video that we did, and the one in the recent community area type area that of which I asked y'all what you want me to answer for y'all. And I also took some of these from other videos that in which some of y'all asked certain questions. Now, one of these though, I can't exactly remember where it was, but some of these I did answer beforehand, but I'm going to answer them here also. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get into it. Okay, now, this one is about a year ago, and this is from Famed God, and he asks, a question for your next Q&A. Are you a witch/Wiccan? Wicca is a kind of mix between Germanic and Celtic paganism. Well, actually, no, I am, because witch and Wiccan are related to the females, not males, which... With males, they are more of the longings of warlock and druid. That's how it is. But no, I am not. Now, I do practice the old ceremonies like my Celtic ancestors, but that's about it. Because, one, the church doesn't exactly like it when we practice certain ideals that they don't find Christian. Even though with themselves, I don't exactly view them as proper Christians. But yeah. But as well, this is not exactly Germanic. It's more Celtic tradition than it is of Germanic tradition. So, yeah. Now, I do try my best to celebrating the certain holidays of the Celts. One of my favorites being the holiday of Samhain. Although, to many of you non-Celtic people who do not know of Celtic culture properly, I am speaking about the holiday of Halloween. Yeah. But the sad part is I can't burn a Wickerman here in the United States without the lifting of the eyebrows from a lot of neighbors or anybody around. Because unfortunately, a lot of people, when they see a guy wearing white robes and burning a Wickerman, they automatically think, cult! Cult! It's a cult! Or worse, they think I'm part of the Ku Klux Klan. Yeah, try and explain that one. But no, I don't do those celebrations, but I do practice the old traditions in a certain way to prevent evil spirits from getting stuck in my house. So yeah, I like to be with the... I think I actually did a video on that, known as the Halloween... I think it was like the Halloween, on our Halloween edition of the Halloween ritual, I think it was called. So, yeah, if any of y'all want to try that, I'll leave a link for that in the description for y'all so you can understand my point. Okay, Famed God also asked this one in our last video. Another question, what do you think of the Friday the 13th movies? Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is really good. The movie has nothing to do with Michael, but still a good movie. Okay, now, honestly, with the Friday the 13th films, I think the original 1, 2, and 3 are great. But anything beyond that, it just gets really ridiculous and stupid. I don't know why, it's just me, because because people love the Jason Voorhees with the hockey mask. Here's the thing, I prefer him with the bag, dang it. I don't know why, but that looks a little more badass. I don't know why, that looks a little more scary than it would with the hockey mask. But yeah. Now, they tried to make a modern, remastered the original one, but it's not as good as the original movies, as I said, because one, majority of the films are, the older they are, the better they are, because one, they're the first models. Now, as for Halloween 3, I like Halloween 3. It's just kind of a little stupid in some cases. Now, I like the story about they have it, but it's, I don't know why. It's like, was it always in tune with the mask or whatever? But I can definitely say one major thing. I don't like the modern Halloween. I do not like them. They suck. There is no way in hell that those ones are good. I want to put this out here. I hate modern horror films because they're so stupid. They literally don't even try anymore, and that's really the sad part about it nowadays. So yeah. Okay, let's see. I'm probably gonna butcher this one. Brett Thomas Carballo. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. If I butchered this, I am very sad. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. Let's see. Brett Thomas Carballo asks, where does Celtic Templar buy his weapons and gear? Okay, now this, in every one of my how-to videos, I always put links down below in the description to help y'all out. But as well, when it comes to my gear, it depends on the groups. Now, if y'all want good quality equipment, I always leave where I get them. I get them either from Cult of Athena, Medieval Collectibles, sometimes Etsy. Reason being, Etsy is for one reason. They shape it to the body, which has helped. Now, there's also steelmastery.com. I do highly recommend. They actually do their good job. In fact, I still use their laminar armor. I got my scale armor from Etsy, I believe. But as well, a lot of other equipment, it depends primarily on the area. Now, I also got my Greek Aspis shield from Etsy as well. The same goes for my Norman Kite shield. The same can also be said about a certain other new equipment that has not been seen yet, but it will soon be seen on our few next two how-to videos, as well with my new Germanic heater shield, or not heater shield, hexagonical shield, which, yeah. Now, as for certain other equipment, I even have a good buddy of mine who also makes me certain weapons. He has made me my Germanic short sword. He has made me my my Pictus short sword. He has made a couple of other weapons, as well as my great axe, which is one of them. But yeah, there are a lot of weapons I go for here and there, but it depends on the primary uses. Now, one of y'all even asks of what. Now, this is the one I didn't have a chance to copy because I can find it for some reason. But one of y'all asked me of why I don't go into reenactments. Well, that's the thing. I used to be a reenactor, but unfortunately, I took a blow to my skull. No, well, not my literal skull, but pretty much I felt the blow right underneath my helmet. And what happened was I was training a new guy. The new guy was using a real working medieval mace. Now, I want to put this out here to y'all. Medieval maces are very dangerous. So, if you're all going into reenactments, don't get a real working mace. It is very dangerous. And I think if I remember correctly, this was supposed to be the War of the Roses reenactment. I think I was in England at the time. I can't remember if what town I was in. I can't remember. It's still a little fuzzy because I can't. Some of the towns. I think that we were. I think I remember correctly. I think we were celebrating one of the few famous battles from the War of the Roses. So yeah. I think it was a Yorkist victory on this one. So yeah, I was trying to train him, and I found out this guy was twirling around like an idiot. Yeah, first sign he might have actually gotten bad armor or worse, a real working weapon. Which, keep this in mind. You got to follow the proper protocols for safety and everything, and as well, also historically accurate equipment. Of which he ended up purchasing a real mace. I thought, oh, it's just the wooden shaft that has been blackened, and it has a rubberized mace head, which that's what we're supposed to do. The problem is, it wasn't. Now, I don't exactly have a... I think I have a model, I just don't know what the best way to explain it, but this is the mace I believe he used. And we have to make sure that the entire thing is wooden except for the mace head, which has to be of foam to prevent, or made out of rubber, to prevent impact to the skull to be extremely dangerous. Now here's the thing though, I was wearing, I think it was a barboot, if I remember correctly, or a salet. It was an infantry version. In other words, it was more open-faced. And a lot of times these two get confused. So yeah. And what happened was he hit me in two places. One right here and the other one right here. And unfortunately, because of that, in fact, I should have realized with him twirling around like an idiot LARPer or whatever in a reenactment, I should have realized that he does not know what he's doing. Okay, this last one is from McDevin77. As an artist who likes to draw historically themed art, also as someone whose last name is McSheeny, you have my deepest appreciation as your videos are an invaluable source of references for my work. How would you like to be credited, and what boundaries do you want to set regarding others using your videos as references materials for their own art? I want to be respectful to the work that you do. Thanks in advance. I recommend your channel to everyone else in my life who loves history as much as I do. P.S. What sources do you use for the 1st to 3rd century Irish warfare? Okay. I deeply love the fact that he actually cares this much about putting this in there, and honestly, when it comes down to it, the way I want to be credited it is, I want people to see this so that way they can remember history. I want people to look at this, because if y'all are going to credit me, just tell them that you learned from historians who love history as much as I do. Because one, that's me. Because one, I loved history ever since I was young. Because one, I still have history books that my father actually owns, of which I'll get to that very soon. And the thing is, I learned history because I wanted to learn from it. I pretty much learned history from my father, who was a deep fan of history. He had history films. He had... I think the first ever story he read to me when I was very young, and this was like baby age, and I still remember it, was the Saga of Beowulf. Yeah, let me get this. Let me put this out here. If you teach a kid that at a young age, his eyes will be open to the world of badassery. So yeah. But just say to the fact that, one, I love history. I love to teach people history because, one, that's the one thing I like people to learn. Of which something that YouTube should learn. But apparently they don't like it when you put symbols on there anymore. It's offensive. Really? Because you don't see me crying every time I see a swastika and my great-grandmother was Jewish. Try answering that. Yeah. But I want to put this out here. When people end up saying that history shouldn't be remembered, here's the thing. It should be remembered. History is the greatest teacher that we have to learn from. And in fact, there's an old British proverb, I think if I remember correctly. It's actually the fact, those who do not learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. And that's kind of actually true, seeing the fact that there are a lot of black shirts out there. If now y'all are referring to what I'm talking about the Antifa idiots that say they're anti-fascists, when in fact they look like fascist Italy. Yeah. Try answering that one. And in fact, I'm not the one attacking people just because they're of this or that. Now, am I? I'm not destroying their businesses or anything like that, which is the problem. Today's generation doesn't learn from history. And unfortunately, they're repeating the same problems as our ancestor did. In other words, Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy. So yeah, this is why I don't like the modern idiocy that we're dealing with in schools. School system, teach kids history. Don't teach them stupidity. Because one, I don't want to know the modern variation of Lady Gaga's ass. I don't want to hear, because here's the thing. When I have my own kids, I can tell you one thing. I'm going to go into that school, and if I find out if there's some idiot that's saying that that a boy should be a girl or whatever, I'm getting my beating stick out and beating the living snot out of him like Senator McCarthy did to another U.S. senator. Yeah. If now y'all know what that is, look up 1800s politics and you'll see my point. But yeah. But the boundaries I want to set are probably endless. I want people to learn warriors from certain cultures. I want them to learn history of certain cultures, pretty much from the past to the present. In fact, I am because when it's going to get warmer, I am going to plan on getting into summer equipment again. Probably like that of the early Romans, like during the time of the Roman Kingdom, and as well maybe even some variation of Hittites, or as well even the Persian immortals. That one though, I am still trying to get certain equipment for the Persians set up, so yeah. I does have one or two equipment left to get for the Romans, so hopefully we can get that one done very soon. But as well, he also asks of where I get the information from for the 1st and 3rd century Irish warfare. Well, that's actually mostly from historical novels. That's right. I get this historical novels, that of which I acquire every time I can. Now, there are very few of books out there I would recommend, but one I do have that originally was from my father is very old. I can't exactly show it because the majority of the pages look blank, but there are very detailed, fine artwork in there, but unfortunately, and as well text. But unfortunately, this book was made in like 1905, and it's gotten weathered over the years. I don't know how he got it, but apparently this book is so old that I'm having to translate it still, or in this case, redo everything in it, and that's going to take probably 3 years to get done. Now, if y'all want to actually get historical books, somewhat like these and such, for historical texts and all that, well, I can actually recommend to you the group that actually ends up selling these, which is Osprey.com. I highly recommend going there if any of y'all are looking for ancient warriors and such, because one, they do actually have some historical finds. Now, if y'all want to look online, be probably lazier and just look online, well, I recommend only a couple of sources. And that would actually have to be the group known as Our Irish Heritage. Now, Our Irish Heritage is a group, and they actually do have historical equipment on there, so I do recommend, they do have historical finds and drawings that actually do inspire historical information. So this does give us a big recap on history, so it does help out. But I would highly recommend just going online and buying a book, because it kind of helps out a little more, because I have probably more than just these, and this is probably the oldest one I had. This is probably actually from my father, and this goes from the Hallstatt culture to, I think, Scotland or Ireland at the time, so that's saying how historical this one is. Now, before anyone starts saying, oh, but this is artwork, it's not exactly historically accurate. Well, actually, that's the thing. there are many artists out there that are trying to bring back history, and that's what I love. In fact, that's what McDevitt is actually doing. So, if y'all are actually interested in looking up historical equipment and such, I highly recommend going to the group known as Osprey Publishing to get historical books. If y'all want to look at the historical finds they even have in these books, which one they actually show several of historical equipment they could have used and such, and as well I even read every part of this that I can actually look into, which they show even their culture, what the Celts did, for example, what the Vikings did, because in this one right here we can actually see of head hunting, weapon sacrifices, as well as of ported helmets, or as well as Aegon helmets and such. So there are several variation of books you can read to understand history. Now, with other books I have actually had, this one I actually got from my old high school. And this was on the, what they were calling giveaway books. And let's just say they actually show a lot of historical features in it, which I do love. And, because you guys gotta love this. In fact, they even show historical imagery on an artwork of certain areas, even in Ireland. But, yeah. Now, this is actually going to be only one of the few who doesn't. Now, also, McDevitt, this is also a message for you. Hopefully you're going to be ready for our next video on the Irish wolf warriors of the 1st to 3rd century, of which are going to be scary like a nightmare out of hell. Which, I'm going to explain how these guys are scary to me, and probably why my father ended up scaring me to half to death once with a Halloween mask. So, yeah. But anyways, guys, like and subscribe for more. If y'all have any type of questions that y'all wanted to have answered and such, please leave me know in the comments down below. I will also leave links down below on sites I recommended in this, video, so that way y'all can actually, well, be kept up to, well, our next videos, and y'all can actually, well, stay tuned for more. Anyways, guys, like and subscribe for more. If, as I said, if y'all have any questions, please let me know. I have been Celtic Templar, and hope to see y'all in the next one. Have a great day, y'all.